Please stay and don't fall over. All right. Good afternoon. Is it afternoon yet? Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. I am still having my morning coffee, and it's lunchtime probably. I haven't checked the time. In the video that I made this morning, I shared that I have been reading in the Psalms, okay, in what is known to us as the Bible, all right? And I have expressed, and I don't like having to repeat this, but because there are potentially new people that watch my videos, I want you to understand, and that's why I'm making this disclaimer. I was raised in Christianity. I am no longer Christian, okay? Through my studies, I have come to find out that these texts that have been put together and called the Bible, which Christians claim to belong to them, it does not. These texts or the truths from it don't belong to any religion. What we know as the Bible has been taken from ancient texts and manuscripts that were found, uh, looked through. They have been added to and taken away from. In some places, that's obvious, um, and maybe in some places, not so much. However, one cannot deny, unless there's no spirit of truth in them, that there are truths in this book. And it's not just in what we know as the Bible, there are truths in other books too. And I do read other books. Okay. So, giving you that disclaimer, I am not Christian anymore. I do not believe that these texts or the truths of them belong to Christians. Okay. And I've already explained why. But so it is from that standpoint that I am sharing what I'm sharing. And it is from that standpoint, with me recognizing truth when I hear it and look at it and see it, that I can still read this book. Okay. All right. Psalms 110 is one of the chapters that I have been reading in the Psalms. And there was so much good stuff that was coming to me as I was reading through different Psalms. I'm like, how do I even incorporate this? Because I want to talk about more than one psalm, or more than one thing that I'm seeing. And y'all, my nails, I am regrowing my nails. Okay, I've cut them down because when one of them breaks, I tend to cut them all down and regrow them. Okay, so my nails are a mess right now, but they'll grow out, and I'll, start uh, oiling them real good and shaping them and all of that stuff. I just tend to do that from time to time when one breaks. And I'm fixing to get back on topic, y'all. Thinking about going back to, I don't know, we'll see. Because I say I'm going to get acrylic nails, and then when I get them, I'll wear them for about a week and I'm over it. Anyway, Psalm 110. And it says here, I'll be reading from the Holman Christian Standard Bible, HCSB. Okay. Psalm 110, and there's a title or a heading here, says the priestly king, a Davidic psalm. So supposedly this was written by King David. All right. Starting at verse 1, it says, this is the declaration of the Lord. And let me stop right here before I go forward. Um, because some will ask the question, how can you read from this text and it speaks of Yahweh, it speaks of the Lord, it speaks of Lord, all caps, Lord, it speaks of Lord, capital L, then lowercase rrd. The names, that's one of the main things that was changed. These texts actually had names of gods in them. And that's one of the things that was changed. I'm fine, thank you. How are you? That's one of the things, hope you're well. That's one of the things that was changed in the text. They took out actual names of what we call gods. Because, see, some people don't even actually believe in God. I was listening to somebody yesterday who's written a book, and no offense to anybody, and y'all excuse me if I take sips of my coffee. I got some coffee, buy one get one, Starbucks. That breakfast, was it breakfast blend, house blend, or whatever. It was buy one get one, honey, from Publix grocers, and I sure picked up some, and it's really good. Um, but yeah, the names have been taken out and replaced with Lord, capital L, capital O, capital R, capital D, lowercase, all these different things, and they're supposed to mean different entities. Now, some will say that there is no God. Like I was saying, I was listening to a man yesterday who wrote a book, and I didn't listen to the whole thing. He was saying that there is no God, but now this is a sixth ether being that was saying this. Okay, now I don't necessarily believe uh, God is who and what we have been taught as Christians or in religion, okay? But I do believe that there is some a power of higher intelligence, okay? Be they aliens that are far more advanced and intelligent that made us, um, be it uh, I don't know. I don't have the answer. I have a birthday just like everybody else has a birthday. Okay. And there's things that, even though I may come from being born into this realm, I don't remember. Okay. Unless it's brought back to me for whatever reason. Okay. So these names were, the actual names of gods were taken out of here. Elohim is plural. God, the word God was translated from the Hebrew word Elohim, that is plural. All right. Uh, verse 1. This is the declaration of the Lord to my Lord, from the Lord to my Lord. Sit at my right hand until I make your enemies your footstool. Okay? Now, here's a place where I want to say, I believe in balance. So I believe in love and light. And I also believe that there is a time to open a can of whip. Okay? This love and light being and the doctrine of trying to stay on the side of just love and light and not integrating in one's dark side and becoming one balanced being. And a balanced being can tell the truth. A balanced being doesn't have to play like they love everybody. A balanced being can say, no, I don't like you. And I'm still trying to figure out why. But it's something, it's for a reason. I just hadn't hit on it just yet, but it's coming. See, a balanced being can tell the truth. It's those of you who are just playing like you live in light only in religion over there under that cross, that have to play like you love everybody. A balanced being can tell you, no, I don't like you, and here's the first 5 reasons why. They don't have to try to hide. Okay? Sit at my right hand until I make your enemies your footstool. So, my purpose in saying that was that this God was not, there came a time, see, there is such thing as one's cup of iniquity or cup of sin or cup of doing too much is full and overflowing, and it's time to address said hindquarters. Let me get a sip. And Psalm 110 is the Lord or divine being at that point with some people. Okay? And so he's telling his chosen, because there are chosen. Remember, your Jesus even said, many are called, but there's a few that are actually chosen, handpicked. They come equipped with special packaging that you may not be able to detect, and you may think they're gullible and easily manipulated. And see, that's all part of divine's setup, to set up evil people. Because people who actually have power don't have to walk around displaying it. Did you know that? People who actually have a certain ashe in the spirit don't have to walk around announcing, if you don't leave me alone, I'm gonna go to Baba this, and I'm gonna go to blah blah blah, and I'm gonna do this. And people who actually have that kind of power don't generally announce it. But this God is saying, because he is seeing, eyes going to fro throughout the earth, beholding the evil and the good, and he is seeing that somebody's cup of iniquity is full, and he's because they've been messing with and picking with one of his chosen or some of his chosen, and he's getting ready to come up, or not getting ready, he's coming up off of his throne himself. He ain't even sending nobody to do the job. He's coming up off his throne himself. He don't tell everybody to sit at his right hand. And I know a lot of y'all that Christians think that's Jesus. And there's no way that could possibly be you. Yet you believe that everybody has a cross to pick up and bear, like Jesus did. Balance. Again, many are called, few. That still means, few still means more than one, more than just your Jesus figure, are chosen. And it's those that have been messed with, thought of as gullible and easy to manipulate and steal from, that he is saying, you sit down here at my right hand. I'm getting ready to open up a fresh can. Okay? Verse 2, until I make your enemies your footstool. Number 2, the Lord will extend your mighty scepter. Your rule, chosen, and the office that you are chosen to walk in, and the work that you are supposed to do in the earth, your purpose. Some of us are just starting to do that. And there are people and that are witnessing you coming from a place of not being aligned to being aligned and starting to walk in purpose and destiny, even small beginnings. And they're witnessing that. And because they are enemies, they don't like that. That throws them off balance, which they were off balance anyway. But it throws them even more off balance because they can't keep you off balance anymore, which fed them your energy. We talking about vampires and dark witches in real life. Okay? So he said in verse 2, you sit at my right hand, chosen. I'm going to make your enemies your footstool, and I'm going to extend your scepter and your rule surrounding your rule over your enemies and surrounding your enemies. These people think they're fighting you, chosen. But then they want to try to judge somebody's competence and mental state. And they're fighting, they think you. But it is some people coming in for a really rude awakening. So if he's going to extend, it's people out here despising small beginnings. They can't stand to see you aligned to even start doing the beginnings of what you're called to do, let alone where it's going to, the extension of it, and where it's going, your purpose and destiny is going to end up. They can't take the beginning of it. They surely won't survive the expansion of it. Okay? But this God says, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to expand it. Verse 3 says, your people will volunteer on your day of battle. There are people, yes, there are people out here who are willing to believe lies about you. It fits their narrative and what they want to think about you anyway. But honey, believe it or not, chosen, there are people out here who have been lied to about you, and they don't believe it. Or if they did, they're coming to find out that it's not true. And in the day of battle, they will volunteer to uphold your cause and stop your enemy mid-lie and saying, be quiet, I don't believe nothing else you're saying about X, Y, and Z, because you have proven to be a lie. Because I'm watching them over here, and they seem same to me. What they saying is adding up. In fact, what you're saying, talking about the enemy, is what's not adding, and you looking kind of shady right now. This is what's happening. This is in the energy. Okay? So that verse 3, there are people who will volunteer to be your benefactor or speak up for you on your day of battle. In holy splendor from the womb of the dawn, the dew of your youth belongs to you. I'm in my 50s. And some may look and say, okay, a lot of time, because of the lies you have been surrounded by, has been stolen from you. Battle is not over until it's over. And I could get into a lot of things on that, but I'm not. But when you know the one who is able to keep your body healed, your mind stable, and who is able to renew your youth and along with you doing the things that you need to do and should do, your youth can be renewed to carry out your mission. So the enemy really hasn't done anything but giving you time to learn how to identify them easily. Remember, all things work together for our good, chosen. Verse 4, the Lord has sworn an oath and will not take it back. Some people's word ain't worth a mint green brand new catalytic converter for your car. Okay. But this God said the Lord has sworn an oath and won't take it back. What's the oath? Forever chosen. You are a priest like Melchizedek. That's the oath. If you go back in Genesis, I think it's Genesis 14, when Abraham came back from a battle that he won, out of nowhere, a priest of God called, and whose name was Melchizedek, and was there out of nowhere. And the character, this priest of God, has mysterious origins as far as my studies have come out. Okay, has mysterious origins, not really knowing where this priest came from. No recorded mother, no recorded father. There's a mystery around Melchizedek. Okay. And like I said before, a lot of Christians would try to make that Jesus. But remember what I said earlier, many are called, few are chosen, and still few is more than one, more than just a Jesus, one Jesus character. So he said, I have sworn an oath and I won't take it back. If you're chosen, you're just chosen. And that doesn't matter who likes it and who doesn't like it. They may as well learn to love it. If you're chosen, people may as well learn to love it. Okay? I don't know why this going. Hold on, y'all. Let me see. All right? They may as well learn to love it, because if you're chosen, you're just chosen by the Most High, and nobody can change that. There's no amount of witchcraft. There's no amount of rituals that can be done to swap destinies and all this stuff. You can stay in your Akashic record. Okay? But so he said, this is an oath and I won't be taking it back forever. You are chosen. You are a priest to me in the order of Melchizedek. Melchizedek had mysterious origins. And some of you, I'm not saying you weren't born of a woman, because if we're here, we were born of a woman. We have a biological mother and father, but some of us, some of you, there's always been mystery around you. A Scooby-Doo mystery to solve that nobody seems to want to tell you about. Order of Melchizedek. And the Most High won't be taking it back. Okay? And then also, like I said, many called, few chosen. Remember the story of Moses and his brother and sister, Aaron and Miriam. Miriam was a prophetess. Aaron was a high priest. They had rank. God gave them a position, but they wanted to run up on Moses and wanted to ask the question, who is Moses that God speaks to us too? I'm a prophetess, Miriam says. I'm paraphrasing. Aaron, well, I'm the priest. I'm the one offering sacrifices. People want to test you and run up on you when you are chosen, not just called. Moses is the one, for example, that this God would be saying, you sit at my right hand, not Miriam and Aaron. God said, I talked to Moses face to face. Yes, I deal with you, Miriam and Aaron, called. But Moses is chosen. I speak to him face to face. I'll talk to y'all and give y'all a mystery, but you got to go Scooby Doo solve it. I'll speak to Moses, plain and simple. Chosen. That's who we're talking about. That's who this God is getting up off his throne for, because some karmics and some low vibrational, lackluster baby calves cup of iniquity is full, and it's time to address it. And that cup that you poured and did and paid for rituals and did rituals for the chosen to drink out of it, and cause them harm and irreparable, let's see, uh loss, irreparable loss, and brokenhearted, never finding love. Let me see. Until they feel like taking themselves out. Your cup of iniquity is full. And the cup you poured for the chosen, the Most High is going to shove every drop down your damn throat. Drink up. Cheers. The Lord is at your right hand, chosen, doing your work, your inner work, dealing with the dark parts of you. Over the years, if you have wronged somebody, you've gone to them. If you felt like it was called for to go to them. When it's been brought to your attention. Do you remember doing this? You remember when we blah, blah, blah? I had that happen to me. I was sitting in a training class. It was just me and the trainer. And that trainer brought back something to my attention that I had said that wasn't right. It was a religious minded attitude that I had. And I said so, and he brought it up to me, and it was something that had happened years before. I humbly apologized to him. Not trying to make a joke out of it. Not trying to play like I didn't remember it. This is what I'm talking about. The righteous, the chosen, we're not afraid to do our inner work. And even if we are, we do it anyway. And if we need to apologize, we'll apologize. And I mean it. We're not going to try to make a joke out of it. We're not going to try to make it funny. We're not going to try to gloss over it. I'm humbly sorry. I apologize. I was wrong for saying that and having that disposition. Then, during that same conversation, I wanted to get it taken care of. Seemed like there was somebody else that was involved too. I stopped, I took a break and called the person and asked them, do you have a minute to talk to me? Is it now a good time? And then it explained why I was calling. It's been brought to my attention, blah, 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 X, Y, and Z. I ain't laughing, nothing. I'm talking. And it's come to, I was wrong. And I want to call and apologize and get it right. I was wrong. I said I was wrong. And I owe you an apology. I said I was wrong. And I owe you an apology. And that won't be happening again. I said I was wrong. Some of y'all can't do that. That's going to be a difference between chosen and called. This is why. The most high will get off his throne himself and deal with these karmics, because you'll do your inner work. The Lord is at your right hand, chosen. But some of y'all karmics, the Lord is at your left hand, and you should be afraid. Be very afraid. He will crush kings on the day of his anger. Because some of us, depending on what chosen, depending on what our callings are going to have to go before kings and magistrates and things like that. If he'll crush kings, karmics, and low-level beings, what do you think he'll do to your little low vibrational, lackluster hindquarters? I know you feel important, but you're not. He will crush kings on the day of his anger, about his chosen. He will judge nations, heaping up corpses. And some of y'all low vibrational beings, and I'm not saying this just because I want to say it. I'm not saying any of this because I want to say it. It's time for these things to be spoken, and I'm one of the ones that's speaking it. Love and light is in the back of the cabinet right now. You've had all the love and light you deserve. Actually, you've had more than you deserve, low vibrational, lackluster baby calves. Some of y'all are going to be among these corpses that he's coming through with. You don't have to believe me. He will crush leaders over the entire world. He will drink from the brook of the road. When he comes off his throne about his chosen, because the karmic and low vibrational beings coupled iniquity is full from messing with the chosen, he's in war mode. And just like he, and I'm using he, divine, I'm using he because that's what a lot of y'all are familiar with. But just like it says he will drink from the brook by the road, that means he's in war mode. And just like he had Gideon single out those 300 men that were ready to do what needed to be done, just simply he chose them by the way they drank water. There was no test that they could study for to be one of the ones chosen. This God, divine, told Gideon, you have way too many men to do what I'm going to do. Okay? And I want the glory for this. So the ones that are scared, let them say that they're scared and let them go home. And I think it said about 11,000 of them did that over in Judges chapter 7. Okay? And Divine said there's still too many men, Gideon. So we're going to run them through a test. Just observe the way they drink water. There's no cheap test. See, it's about what's in you and your DNA and what's in your being and your spirit. And that cannot be copycatted or faked. These men didn't know that how they drank water was going to determine their destiny. And he's not putting these men through something he wasn't willing to do himself. It says he will drink from the brook by the road. How? Like he observed these 300 men do it. He told Gideon, those men, because you still have too many, they get on their knees, which means they're going to have to compromise themselves to drink water on the knees and lapping like a dog you can send them back too. But those that bring the water up to them and drink and can still be looking around and can still observe and get in water and still be prepared to throw a dagger. That's who you take with you. And that's how this one operates. When he's getting up off his throne to deal with y'all, whose cup of iniquity is full. Trust me, karma and divine is riding. It's in the air. Don't know if you can feel it. It's in the air. He will drink from the brook by the road. Therefore, this is meaning this is how he's coming out. This is how he getting up off the throne. Says, I got to get up because your cup of iniquity is full from messing with my children. This is how it's going down. This is how I'm coming through. This is how I'm riding through. See, I don't know who a lot of y'all know. Divine, I know, crushed me. What do you mean he crushed you? Let me go through lessons. Let karmics work to a certain extent, actually work to have me in a certain position so I could learn certain lessons, so my spirit and my soul could become tempered and balanced, so I could gain control over my spirit despite circumstances. And once that happened and I learned those lessons, and I was no longer an unwalled city. And let me say this, none of us is perfect. We are human beings. And Ecclesiastes 3, even being a balanced being, Ecclesiastes 3 says there is a time for everything. You are not to be chosen an unwalled city to where people can just press your button. It's about balance. But walking in balance, there's a time to be quiet and not say anything. And there's a time to use the voice that you were given and tell a baby calf to shut the hell up. Because it's a lot of people out here that's got us twisted. Because we're peaceful beings. Okay? And I prefer to let divine handle things. I don't mind waiting. I sure will heat myself a cup of coffee, fix myself a cup of coffee. I don't mind waiting. Forget all about it because it takes some time for people's cup of iniquity to get full. And then for the Most High to ride. I don't mind waiting. But there is a time to speak up and say exactly what you mean. But he said he will drink from the brook by the road. He's in war mode. And therefore, that's how he coming through. He will lift up the head. This is how I'm coming through. He told one king, I know where you live. That's a threat. I'm in y'all's book. I just don't know. Y'all believe in what y'all being told, some of you. Get your own relationship with divine and learn divine's personality. The real one. Now I'm saying he is the real one. Because the real one will crush you, and yet you'll come out feeling better than you ever have in your life, and he'll make you a force that can't be reckoned with. I'm telling you what I know. I'm not guessing. Now I'm done, but in my doneness, I'm making up words. In my doneness, y'all, Psalms 37. This is just a good read, just to close out on. We're going to do just a nice little piece of a read and then a prayer against our enemies. Psalm 37, and I'm going to skip around in here. It says, starting at verse 1, do not be agitated. Again, I'm reading from HCSB. Do not be agitated by evildoers. Do not envy those who do wrong. Verse 2, for they wither quickly like grass. Not quickly enough, but they do. And wilt like tender green plants. Excuse me. Verse 3, trust in the Lord and do what is good. Dwell in the land and live securely. Verse 4, take delight in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart. Take delight in your path and what's being worked out in you. And you get gaining the greatest riches of all, which is learning yourself and learning how to temper your being. So you won't fall prey to everybody that wants to push your buttons. Verse 5, commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will act, making your righteousness, I love this, making your righteousness shine like the dawn. People can do all the lying they want to on you. She doing this, she doing that, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. And then some kind of way, you just being you coming out like I fired up my camera one day and decided I had some stuff I wanted to say on YouTube. And it's showing some people that somebody's been lying. That wasn't my intent. My intent was starting YouTube because not thinking about anything else, didn't even know what was going on. I had some stuff I wanted to say. Everybody else talking. Let me fire up my camera. Is this thing on? Making your righteousness shine like the dawn, your justice like the noonday. Okay, I want to jump over here to verse 18. The Lord watches over the blameless all their days. You can do all the spells and rituals you want. And how do you don't know, I'm saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. And you speak in tongues as the Spirit of God gives up. I'm a holy. Okay. Yet you have somebody reach out because you can't get in touch. And you have somebody that's a stranger reach out to me asking me a dumbass question about a city that's known for practicing the craft that I didn't know anything about, but it let me know, it not let me know, it confirmed that you doing it. Because the person you had reach out to me is a root worker. You didn't think I had a way of knowing that, did you? So that tells me and it confirms to me what you do. Mask off. Don't even play about it anymore. Mask off. Because I see you. Verse 18, the Lord watches over the blameless all their days, and their inheritance will last forever. Even if they didn't have a clue, they didn't have one. Because the person that was supposed to tell them that it was entrusted to them didn't bother to tell them and wanted to do something else because they don't like the person that was for you. They don't like you. And you weren't ever supposed to know. You were supposed to live and die and be a sacrifice, actually. And something that was yours and only yours was supposed to be enjoyed by other people. However, this says, the Lord watches over the blameless all their days, and their inheritance will last forever. Even if you didn't know you had, because nobody told you. Verse 23, a man's steps are established by the Lord, not by your and he takes pleasure in his way. Though he falls, because none of us is perfect, he will not be overwhelmed because the Lord holds his hand. Ting. Verse 25, I have been young. I'm in my 50s now. I can say this. And I still got some living to do, but I can join this club, this Amen corner, right here in verse 25. I have been young, and now I'm old or older. Let's say older. Yet I have not seen the righteous abandoned, or his children begging for bread. They may have some hard times that they didn't have to go through if they had known what they were supposed to have known. But it's okay. It's okay. It worked out a good work and accomplished what the Lord wanted accomplished, what divine wanted accomplished in the chosen's being. They're going to get it. Verse 26, he is always generous, the righteous, always lending, and his children, I love this, the chosen, their children are a blessing, even though you opened your beak to curse them when they were being carried in the womb, talking about watch yourself so you won't have a monster. You weren't admonishing, you were trying to speak a curse, but they're good. And they bring much joy. Verse 27, turn away from evil and do what is good, and dwell there forever. 28, for the Lord loves justice and will not abandon his faithful ones. They are kept safe forever. No matter how many car wrecks you try to have work done for them to end up in a car wreck, and then when they get to work, because they heard about a car wreck on the interstate and they know that you drive that color car, not even that kind, you just found out about the color of the car and know that person, drive that chosen one drives that color car, and you call yourself, checking to make sure they got there, and you were hoping down in your soul that you wouldn't get an answer on that other line that you were calling, because you've done your ritual and stuff, so that the lie you told about such a one being deceased or incapacitated in some way, so you could have access to the inheritance that the chosen one didn't know they had because they were never told about it. This says, the Lord loves justice and will not abandon his faithful ones. They are kept safe forever, but the children of wickedness will be destroyed. The righteous will inherit the land and will dwell in it permanently. See, this is what I'm almost done. And this is the last thing I'm reading over here. Then we're going to do a prayer about enemies. And I'm going to read it straight from this book because I loved it. The earth, it says the righteous will inherit the land and dwell in it permanently. See, the righteous is who needs to be here. What do you mean righteous? People that want to do their inner work, become a balanced being and a high vibrational being. They want to help other people easier come through the things that they came through and raise the vibration of the earth, okay, that's who needs to be here. So your spells and rituals for these people to be taken out, don't count on it working. And I don't think that work is tax deductible. Now I told y'all I come in the order of kind of like Micaiah, okay? Micaiah not only spoke against evil, he mocked it and made fun of it. If that was a real person, I would want to do some DNA testing because I would suspect that we were related. Okay? So the high vibrational people is who earth wants. Remember, it says that the earth groans. I think that's over. Is it over in Galatians? It says that the earth groans for the sons of God to take their place and become the leaders in these different positions so that righteousness can reign and roll like a mighty river. So the righteous is who needs to be here. Not y'all's low vibrational using your money and the money that you should, the inheritance of people that didn't know they had an inheritance, using their money to work against them and to pay for work done. Y'all the ones that need to run y'all's asses back to the DA. Go look it up if you don't know what it is, instead of doing something evil today. Low vibrational beings. Go look up what the Da is. Find out what the Da. Y'all evil people need to run y'all's asses back to the Da and stay there. Don't even try to incarnate again for at least 1,000 or so years. Let the waters run. Mix with the Da. Let it run until you can get your being back to something to come back to be way less evil. Okay. All right, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Now we're gonna do a closing prayer, and I'm gonna read it verbatim, honey. Because when I saw this, I was excited, honey. I was like, I know I'm fixing to read this. I know I am. Yeah, I'm closing. I promise you I am. Psalm 109. Let me see where I want to start. Okay, yeah, let's start from verse 1, and I'm going to skip around. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But this is a prayer against an enemy. Again, these are called imprecatory prayers. Okay? Now, I believe in praying for people. I do. And I love doing that. I'll say this before I read this. Years ago, I was still in Christianity, and I was invited to speak at a women's conference. And I don't remember how many speakers there were, but I was among them, and we were each given like 30 minutes or so to speak. My topic for that conference was the woman of God. Let me see, what was it again? That's because that's been many years ago. The woman of God, temple of God, or a haunted house. And I talked about how, as women in ministry, we are giving and wanting to minister to other people, but do we have undealt with issues? Things like that. Anyway, after I finished speaking, we break for lunch. And this one woman, I can still see her face. She said, I'm not trying to take glory for myself, but I love this work. This is like Wagyu steak to me. She said, I just feel so free. That means something to me. And trust me, honey, putting together that lesson, I had all kinds of stuff happening. My TV in my kitchen was popping on by itself. I was hearing my name being called by voices that didn't have bodies. I'm not crazy because not only did I hear it along that same time, my daughter heard it, and my son, who at the time lived clear across town, was having the same experience. Putting that lesson together cost me, but and I had some odd experiences putting it together. But when I got there and delivered that message, and to hear one person say, I feel so free. That's like setting, now a steak is a steak now. I mean, I love a good steak. But spiritually, that's like setting a Wagyu steak in front of me and some garlic mashed potatoes on the side, some asparagus cooked perfectly. So I said that to say I love smearing on healing medicine on the soul. I'm almost done, okay? But I'm dealing with some, it's baby calf, deal with baby calf time right now. So I'm closing out because it's been an hour. Okay, and look at this. It says prayer concerning an enemy, imprecatory, a psalm of David. And again, y'all excuse my nails. I'm still trying to decide if I want to just let them grow out or if I'm going to get the acrylic nails and all of that. So here we go. This is a prayer, and I'm praying it. I'm at the point now where I don't have to go, oh, yeah, dear Heavenly Father, no, no, I can just say it. My ashe is working. Okay, verse 1. God of my praise, do not be silent, for wicked and deceitful mouths open against me. They speak against me with lying tongues. They surround me with hateful words and attack me without cause. In return for my love, they accuse me, but I continue to pray. They repay me evil for good and hatred for my love. Set a wicked person over them. Let an accuser stand at his right hand or her. When he is judged, let him be found guilty, or let her be found guilty. And let his prayer be counted as sin. That, I like that. Let his days be few. Let another take over her position. Let her children be fatherless, and his wife a widow. Let her children wander as beggars, searching for food far from their demolished homes. Let a creditor seize all she has. Let strangers plunder what she has worked for. See, I'm not hiding. Let no one show her kindness, and let no one be gracious to her fatherless children. Let the line of her descendants be cut off, and let their name be blotted out in the next generation. Let her ancestors' guilt be remembered before the Lord, and do not let her mother's sin be blotted out. Let their sins always remain before the Lord, and let him erase all memory of them from the earth. For she did not think to show kindness, but pursued the afflicted, poor, and brokenhearted, in order to put them to death. She loved cursing let it fall on her. She took no delight in blessing, let blessing be far from her. She wore cursing like her coat. Let it enter her body like water and go into her bones like oil. Let it be like a robe she wraps around herself, like a belt she always wears. Let this be the Lord's payment to my accusers and to those who speak evil against me. This has been Yvette with Yvette's Turn. I know this was a long one, but thank you for tuning in. We'll talk later. Mwah.